Welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast, where we embrace authenticity, own our worth, and build unshakable confidence. I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's dive in. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Pretty Confident Podcast. You guys, I am so excited to be here. It has been a while since I've sat in this corner and podded. You guys, I batch created the last time I sat here, and it honestly set me up for success because I've had a lot of things going on, and there is no telling that if I did not batch create, that I would have gotten everything out on time when I did. So, first things first, you guys know what I always love to start with, which is gratitude. So you guys know that I am not taking this stuff for granted. Thank you so much for being here. I think one of the YouTube episodes have reached 24 views on YouTube, the visual, aspect of the podcast. I am so excited and so stoked. So if you're listening to this on audio platforms being Spotify, Amazon Music, or iHeartRadio, thank you so much for listening in. But I also want you guys to go tune in to the YouTube because you guys are missing the visual aspect of the podcast. Something that I have poured in, okay? My blood, sweat, and tears. So thank you so much, my YouTube family, for tuning in week after week. Y'all need to go run up the other episodes because I feel like people are forgetting, or you guys are just busy, and that's okay. Life be life, especially since we are in the last quarter of the year. But thank you so much to my OGs for returning, to those that this is maybe, you're catching up or clicking all over the place. Thank you so much. Or if this is your first time listening, watching, just tuning into the channel in general, thank you so much for dedicating some of your time or just seeing what this channel is all about and giving me some of your time to see if you'll be an official Pod Squad member. Okay, obviously, my hair is a little different. I got my different glasses on. I do not have my Ray-Bans on. And I have a wig on. Now, you guys, wigs are going to be my best friend for maybe the next year, okay? Because I did a very, 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 tough thing that some girls don't do, or a lot of girls do and typically regret, which is cut their hair. And one, I do and don't regret it. Like, one, I do miss my very healthy hair. Two, I don't regret it because my hair was not healthy before I cut it. So I'm very happy that I made that choice and wanted to start over and give my hair, some time to flourish and do its own thing. So I have been 2-strand braiding my actual hair and then just throwing on this half wig, which I make it look like a full wig, but you guys, this is 180 density and it is giving very much 250 density wig. Okay, so I'm just going to be on TikTok shopping, headband wigs, all the things so that I can figure out how to keep my hair protected and let it grow to its full potential and back to how my hair used to look, which is exactly like this wig. And if you don't believe me, I am definitely going to insert some pictures and videos here. And if you are listening, you are not going to see it. So you definitely need to go watch the YouTube. Okay. Okay, clock it. All right, you guys. How are you guys feeling? How are you all doing? We are nearing the end of September, the end of the year. We are about to be in the 10th month of the year. September has been a wild ride for me, and I am not going to tell you guys why just yet, so you definitely have to stay tuned because it's one that you're not going to want to miss for the books. I just need to give it a little bit more time, confirm some things, and then I will let you guys in on the secret. But if you already know me, if you're already close to me, you already know. So keep your mouth closed, okay? Keep your mouth closed. My people that's been on Instagram, thank you so much for blowing it up. Instagram and TikTok. One of my TikToks have reached the highest views that it's reached on my podcast TikTok, and that was 500. And I think the last time I saw it, it was at 538. So these teasers that I'm doing and putting out are gaining some traction. And the TikTok Instagram has officially gained, I want to say, let me not become a liar, okay? I want to go and verify that this was now 4.5 thousand views in the last 30 days. You guys, last time I told you guys how many views I had, how many profile views I had in the last 30 days, it was like 2.3. It is at 4.5, and I cannot believe that it went up another 100. And to other people, that may seem so small, but to me, that means a lot. People are looking at my, teasers that I'm putting out there, clicking on my profile, which that is extremely helpful because that's what I need. That is where you guys are going to find all the links in my bio. That is how you get quick access to whatever platform you're trying to watch or listen to my platform audio, like wherever. That's where you're going to find the quickest stuff, okay? To just click on a link and it'll take you straight to it. So I am just so excited and so happy, so thrilled, so I don't even know. I'm just filled with joy that a lot of my hard work is paying off. And I want to share something with you guys because I heard this quote, and this lady said that you have to embarrass yourself in order to grow. What does that mean? There are going to be things that you thought that you would not do in order to get to a different height and to a different level of your lifestyle, of your content creation, of whatever you are trying to do, this podcast, whatever you are trying to do. There is a level of uncertainty, there is a level of embarrassment that you guys will endure. There's going to be a level of embarrassment that you guys and me specifically will endure along the way to get to where you want to go, because there are going to be people that's following you and that's like, girl, you cannot do that. Like, what is she doing? What is she, you are stepping outside of your comfort zone. You are stepping out of things that you know that you can do, things that you know that have worked for you, into an area of uncertainty. And you guys know I have an episode on this, or if you don't know, I already have an episode on this of growth zones and comfort zones. When you step out of your comfort zone and into a realm of uncertainty, that is where you can thrive. This is the area of uncertainty where you can take anything and make it something, as long as you have the willpower, discipline, and motivation to do so. And so, whatever you figure out works for you, that's just something that's added into your tool belt that can help you along the way. And so, with you trying and failing at some things, that is where that embarrassment is going to go come from. So you can go out there, think that you know everything, feel like, you can't learn anything from anybody, you already know everything. That is where your embarrassment is going to come from, because you stepped out into a world thinking that you knew everything when you did not, and not being able to soak in information and be teachable. So now you're going to fall on your face, and it's probably going to be harder for you to get up to where you want it to be, because you went out there and was arrogant, instead of you taking the time to try to figure out, okay, what can I learn as a skill that I can add to my belt, add to my resume, and get to the next point in life of where I want to be. So there's going to be a level of embarrassment. I know that there are some times that I'm like, oh my goodness, am I really doing this? Am I really creating like little teasers, little this, little that? Stop belittling the things that you are doing. Those little teasers gained me 4.5 thousand profile views in 30 days. Somebody that is too afraid to step out there and do any of that in general is getting zero profile views. So there is going to be a level of embarrassment that you feel from doing something that you have not done before and that you do not know if it's going to work. But unless you try, you will never know. And I'd rather be the person experiencing a thousandfold of embarrassment from doing a thousand things that I did not know would work or could work, and coming out on the other end with more than a success story, than the person that sat there with a multitude of opportunities to do something for themselves and did not take that, opportunity, and now they're still in the same place that they started in because they weren't taking risk. They weren't comfortable with getting outside their comfort zone. And at the same time, I say they weren't comfortable with getting outside their comfort zone, but at the end of the day, I saw this other quote, because I never like to steal other people's like wisdom or whatever, like intellectual stuff that they put out. But ready is not a feeling. Ready is a decision. Okay. Everybody loves to say, oh, well, I don't think I'm ready for that. Oh, I don't think, you're ready for that. Oh, I think I'm just going to wait until the right time. The right time, feeling ready is not, it's not like you just can't feel that, because at the end of the day, you're never going to feel ready. If that's the case, you have to make the decision. Right now, I am ready to learn. Right now, I am ready to put my foot out there, learn something new, and see where it's going to take me. And so, with this podcast stuff, I have been just inch by inch doing different things. I started the audio platform. I started out with, a different logo. I created the first logo. I created a new logo. It stuck. It spoke to me. But if you don't try, if you don't start, you never know what's going to be the next step. And that is proof in the pudding for me with this podcast platform. And now we are more than over a year into my podcast journey. You guys see, I have my own sweatshirt with the pretty and then confident on here, pretty confident podcast. Like, there is so much to give into yourself, but if you are too afraid, you will never find out. If I never started the podcast when I just chose to start it and not when I became ready, there's no telling where I would be now. And I used to harp on that. But I am so serious. I procrastinated for years. But if I would have started sooner, there's no telling where I would be now. But I can only speak to the journey that I am on because I decided to go ahead and start and not wait until I was ready. So that's the first piece of information. But that is not what this podcast episode is about. First off, like I said, you guys see this? You guys see the sweatshirt? Not even a sweatshirt. It's literally a hoodie. Y'all, I realized the other day when I was going through my clothes, like, I have not worn my podcast hoodie since I became visual. And it was uh, just went right over my head. I was like, I got the hoodie for this reason. My first video was supposed to be in this hoodie, and your girl missed the mark. But I am here. I am wearing the hoodie. And I just love this full circle moment because I got this hoodie made last year, well before I went visual. And this was just, me investing in myself and putting my platform on something tangible, because yes, I could do all the, content stuff and editing and whatever, posting, but to see my platform, to see my podcast on a hoodie, something that I can put on, it just means like a next level to me. And I am really doing this stuff, and I am still here almost a year later after getting this podcast hoodie made, because I believe I got it made in like November, December. Um, and now I'm wearing it on the platform. So I'm just so excited. And, people, your dreams do come true. You just have to put the dedication, the discipline, motivation, and work behind your dreams. Nobody's just going to come out here and give you a handout. You have to do the work if this is truly what you say you want to do, and your intentions, the words that you say are going to show by your actions. I know you've heard before, actions speak louder than words. Well, baby, this podcast are the actions that I spoke and that I put into my platform. And look at where we are now. And I believe I got another subscriber. I think we have 11 subscribers on YouTube. Like, thank you, whoever you are. All 11 subscribers, thank you so much for being here and believing in me. Like, that subscribe button, you are not only just subscribing just to, figure out what I'm talking about on this episode. You are subscribing because you felt like I had a message that I conveyed to you, and you took that and something resonated with you to where you wanted to become a Pod Squad member. So, like I said, these numbers may look low to other people, but to me, I am grateful for every single follow, for every single like, for every single view, because you don't have to be here, but you are. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Okay, so hopping right into this episode because I know I spent almost over half of the episode already talking about, different things. This episode, I mainly wanted to be about double standards. You guys, I love me some dating reality shows or whatever type of dating shows, I guess, because at the end of the day, it's not really reality when it's a game show. So it's a dating game show. I know you guys are familiar with Love is Blind, The Ultimatum, and those are both led by, what's their names? Nick Lachey and I don't want to get his wife's name misconstrued it or get it wrong, so I'll just say Nick Lachey and his wife host those shows, and they created a dating show called The Perfect Match. Now, I love The Perfect Match. I like the concept, um and all of the things behind it, and I really feel like this is like a real world simulation, but for celebrities to be put on the spot. Because I know that it could be really difficult. One is difficult dating as a regular schmegular human being, but for celebrities, I can only tell that I can only like imagine that it is way harder because of your status and trying to understand the true intentions behind somebody's motives and trying to be with them. Like, some people just try to be with you for the fame, for the headliners. And so I love the concept because people can get in, celebrities or influencers can get into this game show and make genuine connections with other people and see if they truly want a relationship. And I feel like that whole entire show is just a way to show other people about them individual selves, because when you are trying to date, when you are taking dating seriously, it is not only to learn the other person, but figure out what you may not have known about yourself or your weaknesses or insecurities, whatever underlying factors. That is what your partner will mirror back to you and will show you you may or may not need to work on certain areas in your life to be a compatible partner with whoever you are trying to date. So I do like the concept because it gives influencers, celebrities the chance to open up, really get to know people, and really give, the audience and people like me that watch them a little bit more context to who they are as a person, and show them if they are ready for a relationship or if they're just out here BSing, right? And some people really do just need that reality check, because a lot of these people come from Too Hot to Handle, which is, a very sexual and sensual show trying to, teach people like it's not all just about sex. There's other things behind, just how somebody looks and body looks and all of that. But people come from other game shows like The Mole, The Circle, Love Island. Like, these are like Netflix series folks, like influencers, celebrities, whatever. And so I like to see all of them kind of collide, because sometimes you may not be able to be in the same room with people if you do not, open up to new experiences. Like, I truly feel like if I did not go on my cruise where I met my fiance, I would definitely be single to this point. And so just giving people the opportunity to be in other lanes with other, influencers, other celebrities, other Netflix, people, just opens the door to a lot more opportunities. So I really do love the idea, but it also gives us a little bit more insights to how men and women act and how certain men and women portray themselves in a way and act a completely different way. So, first topic, because there are going to be like a series of videos or episodes coming out that I'm talking to The Perfect Match because of some of the things that I saw. The first topic is definitely double standards. Obviously, we know that there are double standards everywhere versus if you're, a black male, white male, white male, white female, black male, black female, black female, white female. Like there are double standards regardless of your gender, race, age, whatever. Okay, but on these particular episodes, I saw a lot of double standards being thrown around, and men not wanting to take accountability for it, or vice versa. And my biggest thing was, women in general, and I feel like this is even with our regular schmegular females and men as well. So I feel like women in general get scrutinized for the little things, or, something that she truly saw as innocent, but the man kind of overhypes and over exaggerates. And what I mean by that is there's this particular part where AD and Ollie, which I love them, they're beautiful together. They just got engaged. I don't know if they're married yet. They're now having a baby. They're expecting a baby, based on what I saw in at the end of the Perfect Match episodes. But AD and Ollie, paired up, woo de woo. So AD got sent on a date because obviously, if you watch the show, you know that people can get picked out at any time out of their couple and be sent on a blind date. Um, and they can either send themselves on a date, or whoever goes in the boardroom, they could choose somebody else out of the other couples. Because obviously, you're trying to show that you're in a perfect couple, so you're gonna mess around with either other couples that you feel are oppose, like posing a threat to you as a couple, or you're trying to honestly give another female, another male, a better chance at finding love in their person. Okay, cool. So AD was chosen to go on a date. She comes back with the date. Okay, you're dating. Nobody says that they're exclusive. Now, once you go exclusive, that's between you and your person. Nobody has to go exclusive, which I don't think anybody in this season truly went exclusive, as far as the man or the female asking the other to be their boyfriend or girlfriend. Now, I know on past seasons there were, but on this one there were nothing like that, like true proposals, as far as would you be my girlfriend, would you be my boyfriend, yada yada yada. Okay, cool, that's fine, you don't have to. This is a dating show, so she's getting to know him. They still continue to have conversations after they come back from the date. She's laughing, she's giggling, yada, yada, yada. No touching, no physical, connection, no touching, no nothing. But Ollie gets so freaking upset because he feels like that's so disrespectful, and she's over there giggling, ha-haing at all of his jokes or whatever they're talking about, and nothing that he could say could be that funny, woo woo woo. But if you don't know, I'll just elaborate. Ollie got matched up with one girl, and they kicked AD out. That was like Nick Lachey's and everybody's proposal. Like, whoever they chose to go out on a date, their partner would be immediately sent out of the villa, but be brought back in. So as soon as AD was sent out of the villa, Ollie went on a date with two women at the same time. Not his choice, but went on a date with two women. One, when he went on that date, he said, I completely forgot that AD, was gone. Okay, strike one. Two, they were supposed to be getting massages. The two girls were laying down on the massage beds, and he told the masseuse that she didn't need to be there, that he was going to give both of them individual, sensual massages. Now, you tell me, AD laughing over a few hee hee ha ha jokes compared to a man telling, "Oh, masseuse, you don't have to do your job. I'm gonna do it for you." On these two nice looking women, double standard. Then he goes as far as holding their hands coming back into the villa. Now, if you don't know anything about Perfect Match, you're probably going to stop listening or stop watching this episode. But I encourage you to go watch it from season 1 to whatever season they just launched, okay? But AD did not come back in holding nobody's hand. Because when you come back into the villa, literally everybody is looking at you. And since you knew AD was not there, because he knew, he was told before he left for his date, AD had to leave. Okay, so he came back in holding both of their hands, strutting them around, doing this, doing that. And so when it came to the end of the night and everybody had to choose who they were going to match up with and couple up with for the night. He chose Justine. I love my girl Justine. She's from Love is Blind. I truly thought her, and I believe his name was Caleb, was a very great fit, but obviously they didn't work out. I hate that for them, but she's a great girl. He literally kissed her, cuddled her in bed, like all night, all of the things. First night. And he didn't find anything disrespectful by that, because when AD asked him, who did you couple up with? And, did y'all kiss? Did you cuddle? Because I know how you are in bed, all of that. He lied to her face and said, no, we didn't do anything. Nope, no cuddling. Double standard. So the night after she gets done hee with whoever she was getting to know, they couple up, like her and Ollie, AD and Ollie couple up, get in the room, and they are screaming at each other, like shouting, arguing, all of the things. He upset about her hee with another guy, talking about that's so disrespectful, like you don't understand any type of disrespect or how to respect a man, yada 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 yada. And I'm just like, hold on, this the same man that kissed another girl, that first gave two different girls crazy massages on a beach, told the masseuse she didn't have to be there, so she did truly leave, like literally left while he gave each of the massages, came back into the villa holding both of their hands. By the end of the night, you kissing one girl, cuddling her deeply in bed at thought. And it's disrespect. Then you lied to AD. Then you lied, because it's not like, oh, they were surface level before she left. They were deeply connected, okay? Locked in since day one. And this was their first true test. So, do we understand the double standard here? We got hee ha ha and innocence, joking, laughing, to you kissing, hugging up on a girl in bed, cuddling, all of the things, deep cuddling too. And then you lied about it. So what's disrespectful? Yeah, a girl laughing at another guy. Still, you guys are dating. Everybody's dating, getting to know everybody. If he tell a little jokey joke here and there, okay, cool. But y'all are not exclusive. She gets to understand that, y'all both understand that she gets to explore her options, and she was picked for the date. Somebody else picked her to go on this date. And so I just hate the double standard, because men will slaughter women. Like, men, it's the same thing with men and women cheating. Men cheat, they want the girl to be okay. They expect the girl to be all right and take them back. But let a woman cheat, the man is so heated and hot. Nah, I thought you said, if I cheat, I'ma stay and this, that, and the third. What happened to that? So if I cheat, you should be willing to stay, right? No, because a man cannot stand another man pleasing their woman. But when they're pleasing other women, oh, it's just a man thing. A man's going to do what a man's got to do. Oh, in these different countries, men have X amount of wives. Double standard. Whatever you dish out, just please understand that you need to be able to receive that as well. And if not, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. And that's why I feel like double standards, regardless of who, what, when, and where, is so stupid, because it's the golden rule that I literally learned in elementary school. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Y'all want to y'all think that disrespect should be tolerated by us. Oh, a man's gonna do what a man's gotta do. That's not okay. Just because you had lack of self-control, lack of empathy, lack of sympathy for me, lack of care and love for my feelings, does not mean that I should just find it okay that you were out there doing what a man does at all. But a woman could simply have a conversation with another man, and the man is faux hot, okay? Heated, because he's finding that disrespectful. Y'all need to get a grip. Men and women. I don't care who is doing what, when, where, or whatever. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. Stop with these double standards, because when I have my children, my boy is going to understand you are not going to go out here slinging peace all over the place when you get of age, okay? And you are not going to be a hustler. You are not going to be, well, you are going to be a hustler, but you're not going to be a player. You're not going to try to talk to all of the girls in class. That is not how I'm going to raise my boys if I have a boy. Now, my boy's going to understand that every woman should be treated with respect. At no point should you call her out of her name. And if you feel disrespected or slighted, is no tit for tat in this game. If you feel disrespected or slighted and you've already communicated that to your partner and they continue to do what you already communicated to them, that means that they don't love you, value, or respect you. And so now it's time to move on. But we're not going to do the double standard things. I'm not going to, be more strict on my girl than I am my boy. No, everybody's going to learn how to love, respect, and uphold each other's name, as well as making sure they don't take disrespect from other people. But I am not going to teach my child, my son, to be a player up until a certain point, and then, oh, now it's time to settle down. Now it's time to, be a faithful man. No. You have to practice what you preach. And so if my son is being a player, you're going to be a player for the rest of your life, I feel like, until you find somebody who either doesn't know your history or is trustworthy enough, or that deems you trustworthy enough to give you a chance. Because after you lead so much with that player lifestyle and, oh, I'll have this many females on my phone and I date this many females and I'm effing this many females. Once you lead with that type of image of yourself, once it gets around, because you never know who knows who, females are not going to want to give you a chance. Yes, they may want to be, a groupie or whatever, but at the end of the day, when it comes to finding something genuine, you do not want a player. A female does not want a player. A female does not want a toxic man. A female does not want somebody that manipulates them. So I will be teaching my son not to do any of those things. And if you have like a little player phase, okay, fine, do whatever you need to do, because I ain't going to beat the child for, looking at their options. But I'm going to teach my child that when you are exclusively in a relationship, you are going to treat that human being with as much care, respect, and love that you will want them to treat you. Do you want somebody out here kissing and rubbing and hugging and tugging on somebody else and coming back home to you? No? Okay, so don't do that to them. Because as sick as you would feel, somebody else doing that to you, that is how sick you should feel doing that to somebody else. Because at that point, as soon as you cross that boundary, you have no longer had love for this person. And I hate, this is my last point I'm going to make. I hate when men say, oh, but I love you. Oh, I didn't really mean it. It was a mistake. The moment you decided to step outside the relationship, it was not a mistake. A mistake, like what? Like, how did you mistakenly, freak around with somebody? Oh, my pants dropped. Oh, I put it in. Oh, we did. Like, let's be honest. No, you decided to go out there and make that choice. Just because it wasn't the right choice by somebody else doesn't mean that it was a mistake. You chose to go do something. You logically thought to yourself, I love this person, or at least I think I know the concept of love to love this person, but I want to go see how this is. I want to go step outside and I want to, test drive this. That's not love. You are lusting after somebody and expecting somebody else at home to be okay with that. No, it's not okay, because I don't want a man with a lustful spirit. I don't. So the double standards, both ways, need to stop. Both ways. Like, that made me so hot. And I'm so happy that AD has stood up for herself. I hate that they had to go as far as yelling, screaming, because, the other couples in the other rooms could hear them. And they said, like, it was like a screaming war. Like, just imagine hearing that and trying to go to sleep, and it's not your parents. It's, another couple. Like, could y'all please shut up? But I'm glad that she did not back down. She did not take the disrespect. Now, honestly, I don't give second chances, but they are just dating. They're just dating, not exclusive dating, but they are dating to figure out who is their perfect match, to see who they like the most, to see who they feel like they could do life with outside of the villa. Okay? But the kissing, the cuddling, the caressing when massaging, definitely a double standard to her just having a simple conversation with a different guy and merely laughing at his jokes. double standard for sure, because he was heated about that. But you lied to me straight to my face when I asked you, because AD probably wouldn't have been upset as she was after she found out that he truly did kiss her, came back in holding both of their hands and cuddled her to bed when she blatantly asked him, did you do X, Y, and Z? And he said, no, didn't do that. Okay, because we built this foundation for oh so long since day one, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and trust you. But then when my trust is lost, after I have already asked you point blank and you decided to lie to me, that's not a mistake either. You decided to lie. Why are we lying at our big age? But it is what it is. Nah, let me not say it is what it is. We genuinely, as a community, need to change that. We need to start raising our children in the way that we want them to walk in this life. And so when you are raising your children to, oh, I gotta be more strict on the daughter because, things can happen. Things can happen to boys too. Okay? Teach your daughters to be situational and environment aware. Okay, cool. But teach your boys that too. So that's my thing of the day. That's my theme of the episode. Double standards. I hate it. And I hated seeing that, especially with this black couple on this dating show. But everybody has to go through their ups and downs to figure out what they're going to do next. Because I like to say, if your relationship doesn't have any type of arguing, any type of bickering, any type of disagreement, it's an unhealthy relationship. There is going to be at some point opinions that clash, that don't mesh. You guys are going to have a difference of opinion that you feel so strongly about that you are willing to go to bat for it. But at the end of the day, we just all need to remember that if you are in a relationship, that it is you and your partner against whatever problem is happening at the moment. Because I feel like a lot of people think that it's me against you. No, it's both of us against this situation over here. So remember that. Stop doing the double standard things. If you wouldn't want somebody doing something that you are doing to somebody else, don't do it at all. Because you know that you would feel sick to the pit of your stomach and you still decided to do this to somebody, that is the devil at hand. That is the devil in you. And I need you to relinquish it. I need you to get up off you and out of you. All right, but I love you guys. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the Pretty Confident Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection, it's about embracing who you truly are. So until next time, stay bold, stay authentic, and stay pretty confident.